Hey, hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to our winter 2026 into 2027 launch webinar. And I think these webinars just come around very, very quickly, don't they? It doesn't feel like too long ago I was actually talking to you about summer 26. Well, we're going to make your winter wishes come true, hopefully, on this webinar. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Steph Adams and I'm the Training and Engagement Manager at P&O Cruises, and I'm joined by our lovely training executive, Angie Angelova. So hi, Angie, give us a wave. Fab. Okay, so this morning you can see on my screen everything I'm going to cover with you. So I'm going to give you all of the details that you need to make winter launch a success. I'm going to talk you through the all-important timeline, the campaign. We're going to shout about some of the lead fares that we've got. We've got some brilliant deployment and itinerary to talk you through. And then, of course, we're going to give away some shine points at the end, so you can earn very well during launch period, shall we say. Now, if you do have any questions throughout, please do pop them in the chat. Angie's keeping an eye on the chat and will answer any of your questions. And then, of course, please do feel free to interact with us as we're going through. If you see something you like, use the reactions, and let's just have a really fun Monday morning, shall we? There's no sign of the Monday morning blues here. So let's get cracking. Let's explore this collection, and please do bear with me. I've made an error there on my screen here. Here we go. Let's look at this collection. Well, look, this brings us 192 new cruises, which ultimately means 192 new opportunities for your customers to holiday like never before. We're going to visit 18 ports where we stay overnight, including places like Cape Town, Hong Kong, San Francisco, and Tallinn. We've got 19 ports where we will depart later than 9 p.m. And I always think it's lovely to have late departures because it really shows our guests exactly what a destination is like when the sun goes down. And they're going to be able to experience that in places like Barbados, Casablanca, Cozumel, Lisbon, and Tenerife too. We've got 6 ports where we've not visited in over 5 years, including Kona in Hawaii and Port of Spain in Trinidad. So some really nice destinations we've not been to for a while. We've got a couple of fleet maiden calls, and finally 10 Peninsula Club cruises where any of our guests that are in our reward and loyalty scheme, they will benefit from an extra discount for being a past guest that travels with us time and time again. So I'm sure you can see an absolute bumper collection. But let's get into the all-important timeline because it's really important that you know exactly what dates these cruises go on sale. So from today, the embargo has lifted and everybody at P&O Cruises is shouting loud and proud about our cruises because at 8:30 this morning, all of the information that we've got on our winter launch is out in the public domain. Now, for you guys, of course, we've got Shine Rewards Club. And if you need fare grids, you need to know any of the details, you can visit our campaign page on Shine Rewards Club and you'll be able to download anything that you need to be able to quote your customers in this pre-registration period. Now, if you are new to pre-registration and to launch, at 11:30 this morning, I will be talking you through the pre-registration period. So don't forget to join that webinar if you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about. But for those of you who've been around for a while, you of course know we have this pre-registration period that runs through until Monday, the 21st of October. We then go into a staggered launch across 3 days. So on 22nd of October, next Tuesday, anybody that's in our top tiers of our Peninsula Club will be able to book. And that's anyone in the Caribbean, Liguerian and Baltic tiers. And then we go on general sale for October to December departures on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we will see January to March 27 departures go on sale. Now, this is when our cruises do get opened up on Polar Online. So you will convert your pre-registrations into bookings. Now, one thing to note, Polar Online opens up at 8:30 on those days, but on general sale, fluid pricing will kick in from 10 a.m. So if you do have some pre-registrations, do convert them before that fluid pricing may kick in. But what's the benefits of booking at launch? And we do always say booking at launch is just the best time to book. Well, our campaign period runs right through until the 9th of December. So we've got a little while for our guests, your customers, to start dreaming about where they would like to go in the winter. But you can see there, we always have two price points out in the market at P&O Cruises. The select price, which of course is where guests can choose their cabin, choose their dining time, and take advantage of other benefits like onboard spending money or car parking and coach. There's also an early saver price where they may not get those added benefits, but they will get a bit of a cheaper holiday. But for you guys, it's all about that select price, isn't it? Because of course, every select price booking you make turns into shine points because you can spin that wheel. But if you have a look on here, a really nice, easy campaign. Booking on the select price and early saver, it's a 10% deposit, which of course we know is a low deposit because our brochure terms and conditions are 15%. But on the select price, anybody booking in this period until the 9th of December on any of those new cruises will benefit from a 10% discount. And that's regardless of if they're a new customer that's been wondering what on earth they're missing out on, or a guest that's travelled with us time and time again. So when you've got the fare grids that you download from Shine Rewards Club, you will take a 10% discount off of that for every person. And then there's Peninsula Club cruises where there's 10 cruises where they will benefit from an additional 5% discount. Now, I must say they are combinable, but they're not cumulative. So on the 10 Peninsula Club cruises, if a guest is in our loyalty scheme, you will take the 10% discount off and then 5%. Now, it doesn't make a lot of difference in the calculations, but you want to have your calculations as accurate as possible. Now, when you go on to Polar Online, if you first go to the fare screen, do not be alarmed when you go to convert your booking if the discount is not showing. It will reflect in the pricing screen. And I guess one last thing to tell you about, well, it's a nice, easy campaign, is at the moment you are used to being able to book the classic drinks package for your customers on Polar Online. In this launch period for this launch product, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do that on Polar Online. A customer can still take advantage of a 10% discount on the classic drinks package, but they'll need to do that on my P&O Cruises. But how does that sound? A really good, easy campaign. Low deposit, 10% discount, and we're going to show you some brilliant fares too. Now, if we do have anyone looking for a P&O Cruises holiday, what I love about our cruises is the value that we offer. And I'm going to show you our lead fares because we do hold our lead fares for this period for any marketing purposes till the 9th of December. Now, of course, with P&O Cruises, you've always got to think about that value. Dining and entertainment around the clock. Plus, great service comes as standard, so there's no tips to pay. And when you look at the prices that are displayed here, you can see the early saver, you can see the select price, but that's without that 10% discount. You can really see the value in our holidays. In fact, looking at the World Cruise, if you applied a 10% discount on the select price, that leads in at £102 a night. Imagine going around the world for £102 a night. What incredible value. What adventures you're going to have to tick off your bucket list. But even if you look at Spain, Portugal, and the Canary Islands on Iona, taking in that 10% discount, even without that, but with that discount, it leads in at £58 per person per night. So again, it's seeing that value. But some brilliant lead fares that you can shout loud and proud about because they are held. Now, at launch, it's a brilliant time for families to book. And this may look a little bit complicated, but when you look at the fare grid, you will understand how to quote this. But are you spotting the free third and fourth guests on here? Yes, we've got free spaces. So there couldn't be a better time for families to book. Now, we do vary the third and fourth guest price by fly and non-fly. So you can see there we've got our ex-UK product, which is out of Southampton, or our Canaries and Fly Caribbean program. It varies by duration, by peak holiday, non-peak holiday, and then, of course, the grade. So when you see Meta there, it's the grade of cabin. But look at the value of some of our holidays there. You've got those free spaces, but even when you're looking at the peak holidays, you can see third and fourth guests are priced incredibly well. Now, just one other thing to note is that every person, bar infants, can take advantage of a 10% discount. Now, you'll see there non-peak holidays, £49 for an infant, or in peak holidays, £99. So calculate your other guests, and then if you've got an infant, just add that on. So it doesn't, again, make a huge amount of difference, but it's about being accurate. But when you look at the fare grids, you'll be able to see how to quote for third and fourth guests. But brilliant prices, right? Who is excited about those free spaces? Please give us a reaction. Now, you can see the variety of cruises here as well for those free spaces. So there's a wild variety from Iona to Aurora to Ventura, and a nice mix of durations as well. So if you've got any families traveling, definitely worth putting that out. Now, if you're wondering about the Peninsula Club cruises, there's 10 of those where our guests can get an additional 5% discount. And you can see they are listed here. But don't worry, you'll be able to get this list from Shine Rewards Club. So anybody in our loyalty scheme, you'll take that additional 5% off. Now, to enter the Peninsula Club with us, you have to have sailed at least 15 nights. So someone can be a past guest with P&O Cruises and maybe has sailed 1 to 14 nights, but they don't enter our Peninsula Club until their 15th night. So just worth bearing that in mind. And of course, most of our past guests know if they are within that Peninsula Club, but just make sure they are if you're taking that additional 5% off. So that's the campaign. That's the lead fares. Brilliant and nice and easy to understand. But let's get into the good stuff. Let's start dreaming about some of the new news and some of the destinations that we're going to. Now, we know past guests book with us time and time again, particularly at launch. So everybody's always looking for new news. Well, there's quite a lot of new news in winter 2026. So first off, can you think of a better way to banish the winter blues than by joining Arcadia on her 106-night world cruise? Now, she's going to stop at Hong Kong, Vietnam and Cape Town, and it's set to be an incredible holiday. But we've not done over 100 nights for a fair few years. So I think 106 nights world circumnavigation is absolutely fantastic. Now, if an epic winter adventure is on your customer's bucket list, but they don't have 106 nights, well, perhaps they've got a spare 75 nights to go on a grand tour on Aurora. Now, this around Central America and USA has got 34 ports in one holiday. You did hear me correctly. That's 34 places that your customers will visit in 75 nights. It's just so efficient. Your customers then might want to mix things up on cruises to mystical Morocco because we're going to be exploring Tangier, Agadir, and Casablanca on Aurora and Ventura. But we're also going to be visiting the stunning Cape Verde Islands on a new 18-night holiday on Arcadia. And we'll explore that itinerary because it is beautiful. Now, anyone wanting to have some festive fun and enjoy all that the Baltic Christmas capitals have to offer, then we've got a beautiful 14-night Northern Europe and Scandinavia cruise over Christmas. There's 5 ports with Christmas markets in and an overnight stay in Tallinn. So I think this is going to be incredibly popular. And then finally on this screen, you can see Azura has got some new 10 and 11 night cruises. Now she's still doing her fly cruises, but we've got a bit of variety for Christmas and New Year. So we'll explore that in a second. Now, the new news keeps coming because we do have some other news. So if customers want to take to the skies, they might want to go on Britannia, who's just, of course, just come out of her multi-million-pound refit this year. Well, she's going to have a beautiful 28-night Caribbean cruise, taking in Christmas and New Year. So I'm sure that's going to be popular. And then Ventura has a new itinerary type as well, a Central Mediterranean cruise and departing late February. She's going to go to some brilliant cities at a quieter time of year, and we'll explore that in more detail. But of course, customers always do ask, where am I going to see the New Year's Eve fireworks? Well, we will give our guests the best opportunity to see these with cruises taking in Madeira, Hamburg, Barcelona, and Lisbon too. So they will celebrate in style under the beautifully lit night sky on New Year's Eve. How great is all of that new news? And of course, it's about shouting about this new news that really gets our customers excited. Now, we do have a couple of ship maiden calls, so it's really great to see that we've got Galveston in Texas on Aurora's Grand Tour, and then we've got Port Vila in Vanuatu on Arcadia's World Cruise. So past guests would not have sailed to those places on our ships, so definitely worth calling out. But I know when we've talked about launch before, and particularly for those customers who do have particular ships in mind, it's really nice and easy to see from this one image exactly where all of our ships are going before we explore their itineraries. So I'm going to start left to right and we'll just have a bit of a snapshot for each ship. Now we'll start with, of course, our XL class of ships, Arvia and Iona. 30 places to drink and dine, and ultimately they are known for freedom, variety, and innovation. Well, Arvia, she's off to the Caribbean. Of course she is. Beautiful 14-night holidays from Barbados and Antigua. Whereas her sister ship, Iona, stays based out of Southampton, offering customers the opportunity to go to Spain, Portugal and the Canary Islands, some lovely Northern European city escapes. And she will go to the Caribbean, but from Southampton. So for those guests wanting to take advantage of the sea days, that might be a great way to reach the Caribbean. But there is one 5-night short break in early February. So anyone looking for a short break, I'm sure they'll want to try Iona. 5 nights is not long enough, but it'll give them a good idea. We then move to our large family friendly ships. And of course, we start with Britannia, our flagship. Can you believe she turns 10 next year? Well, she offers that stylish way to see the world and she joins Arvia out in the Caribbean. Now, again, her itineraries are 14 nights, but they do differentiate from Arvia's itineraries. So, in a little while, we'll explore the differences. So, if your customers have gone to the Caribbean before on one of these ships, you might be able to switch up the islands they visit by going on a different ship. Azura, our social paradise at sea, she heads back to Tenerife for the winter. So we reposition her from her summer deployment in Malta down to Tenerife. 7 and 14 night options, but she does have those new two cruises, a 10 and 11 night for Christmas and New Year. And her sister ship, Ventura, then stays out of Southampton. And we call her our funnel rounder, Ventura. She can stay out of Southampton. She's got her retractable roof on one of her pools, so guests can enjoy that whatever the weather. Canary Islands, short breaks. She also goes to the Caribbean like Iona, but again, we differentiate that itinerary. And she's also got that new Mediterranean cruise that we'll explore in more depth. And then last but by no means least is, of course, our adult exclusive ships, Arcadia and Aurora. And I always do think the winter program really is where these ships come into their own. Because we talk about them being our discovery ships. We talk about them going into lesser frequented destinations that our other big ships cannot get to. So we've got some brilliant cruises, including that World Cruise and Grand Tour, but we will get our guests to go in search of the Northern Lights. We've got the Cape Verde cruises, some beautiful Moroccan highlights as well, and some short breaks too. So a real variety out of Southampton, but going, escaping the winter. So if your customers have got a favourite ship, that's a snapshot of where they could go. But if they are looking for these destinations and they're looking for something new, let's look at the itineraries because when I saw this program, it just makes me want to get booking, honestly. And we're going to explore all of these itineraries. So I do hope you're still with me. Give me some reactions if all this is sounding good so far. And in fact, Angie, have we got any questions so far? No, lots.
Not at the moment about the launch in particular, so
Lovely. Lots of love hearts, lots of thumbs up going. Let's go. Let's go for a world cruise, shall we? Now, for World Cruises, it's so great talking to past guests about World Cruises because some of them do this as a lifestyle choice to totally escape the winter. And I really hope that's going to be my lifestyle of choice. But of course, you do have others that say this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. But 106 nights, you can see there leading in from £11,999 without the discounts. You've got to take that off. But let's explore the world, shall we? And I had to write this down because I don't know if I can do it from memory. So close your eyes. Our customers, our guests will leave Southampton on the 6th of January 2027. They're going to head to Madeira, Barbados, Curacao before transiting the Panama Canal. They'll head to Manzanillo in Mexico before arriving in San Francisco for an overnight stay. She then heads to Kona, Hawaii. We've not visited there since 2007. Arcadia also visits Honolulu, Samoa, Fiji, Vanuatu before reaching Sydney for an overnight stay. Guests will also explore Newcastle, Brisbane and Cairns before heading to Hong Kong for another overnight stay. She goes via Manila in the Philippines too, before heading to Nha Trang in Vietnam, Singapore for another overnight stay, and then on to Colombo. From there, she visits Mauritius, on to South Africa, visiting Durban, and overnight stays in Port Elizabeth and Cape Town before heading to Walvis Bay in Namibia. Finally, on the way back to Southampton, she visits Cape Verde and Tenerife for a final call. Now, what a holiday! Are you coming with me? Hands up if you're coming with me, because I just think, what an itinerary. Now, of course, we'd all love that 106 night holiday, wouldn't we? And we do know that we can sometimes break the world cruise down into shorter sectors. But at launch time, we will just have our Southern Hemisphere journeys on sale. So when we talk about Southern Hemisphere journeys, that means that we are doing effectively half a world cruise. So sail from Southampton to either Sydney or Brisbane, or you fly to Sydney and Brisbane and then sail back to Southampton. So to give you an idea of that, Southampton to Sydney is 43 nights, or if you wanted to fly to Sydney, sail to Southampton, it's 63 nights. But what a holiday. I can only dream. And I already tried to get the annual leave for that and was rejected. So if the customers want to do a 75-night holiday, I did say about this grand tour going to 34 different ports. Now, in addition to a partial transit of the Panama Canal, we're going to go to places like Puerto Lemon in Costa Rica, Roatan in Honduras, and Costa Maya in Mexico. We've got that maiden call in Galveston, Texas, before heading to New Orleans, where guests have got 2 days to explore that fantastic place. But we've also got calls to Miami and Port Canaveral too. Now, there's plenty of opportunity on this cruise as well to explore the Caribbean islands. So we'll go to lesser frequented ports like Trinidad and Tobago, plus the Bahamas, Grand Cayman, Guadeloupe, and Dominican Republic, as well as the favourites like Antigua, St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada, Jamaica. They just keep on coming. This holiday is the gift that keeps giving. And look at the price of it, 7,299 per person. Without that discount, it's sure to be an epic tour. Now, if you're like me and you just want to get to the sunshine, you want to fly to the Caribbean, who wouldn't want to be in that hammock right now on a Monday morning? I certainly would love to be. But we've got some brilliant options. And we did say that Britannia and Avia both offer our fly cruise option. And I will go through with you towards the end of this webinar the flights that we have on offer. But you may think, well, what are the differences? Now, on the screen here, what you can see is the lead fare for our fly cruises, which is based on Britannia for 14 nights. But if we're looking at two-week holidays on Avia or Britannia, Britannia solely goes from Barbados. So guests will always fly to Barbados to join Britannia. Whereas on Avia, guests may go and join Antigua or Barbados. Now, on Avia's cruises, you're going to get to 8 islands, and they always include Martinique, St. Kitts, St. Martin, Tortola, St. Lucia, Grenada, and Antigua. Whereas Britannia's itineraries differentiate because you may go to 8 islands, but you may go to 9 islands instead. And we do vary the calls across the season. So she will go to places like Aruba, Bonaire and Curacao, Grand Turk, Dominica and Jamaica, all that Avia does not visit. So you will see a nice distinct difference. But of course, Britannia has got that 28-night holiday on the 11th of December, where guests are going to get 3 full days in Barbados and 2 full days in Antigua as well. So I've got to work out if I've been good enough to get that as my Christmas present for this year, because what a holiday. Now, this cruise here, B629, leads in at £3,699 per person. Again, without that discount having applied. So let's all wish we were in the Caribbean, hey? But if you don't want to fly, we've got lots of options to get our guests to the Caribbean, but taking advantage of all the facilities that our ships have to offer on the crossing over to the Caribbean. Now you can see the lead fare here for our Caribbean ex UK, as we call it, out of Southampton, which is Aurora in November. But if guests want to explore the Caribbean in January, once all the festivities have taken place, will both Iona and Ventura head to the Caribbean from Southampton on the 4th of January. Now, they do differentiate the itineraries because they're both heading to the Caribbean, but of course, Iona will concentrate on the Caribbean islands. Whereas Ventura, if you look at this itinerary here, we mix it in with Central America destinations. So, of course, we've got the Caribbean islands like Curacao, Jamaica, St. Martin, and Grand Cayman. But we're also going to take you to Roatan in Honduras, Cozumel in Mexico, and Cartagena in Colombia. Now, 35 nights leads in at £3,149. So that's a brilliant way to spend January, if you ask me. But of course, we will be in the wave period, won't we? So you might have to just sell that one to your customers. Now, if anybody does want to fly one way to the Caribbean, so they could take advantage of some sea days in one direction, then Avia and Britannia, of course, reposition from Southampton out to the Caribbean and fly home. So there's 14 and 15 night options, but I think the 22 night option is an absolute brilliant fare. 2149, sail from Southampton, fly home from Antigua. So if you're looking for the Caribbean, if your customers are wanting to explore those beautiful islands, we've got you covered. Now, we know flying out to the sun is incredibly important to some of our guests in the winter. And we know that Azura moves from Malta to Tenerife for our flight cruise options. Now we've got our lead fare here, 7 nights, leading in at 729 per person. Now, one thing to note on Azura's Fly Canaries cruises is that we always feature an overnight stay in Tenerife, plus evening calls to Funchal, Madeira and Gran Canaria. So guests can really immerse themselves in the Canary Islands. The 14-night option looks like this, and again leads in at 1149, but a great way to go and see those islands. And of course, you go in there in less than 4 hours fly time. Now, you're very used to selling the Canary Islands, I'm absolutely sure, but having gone there on cruise holidays myself, there are some brilliant ways to explore with our shore experiences. So I've done everything from a pottery workshop up in the hills of Gran Canaria to learning to surf. So whatever you want to do, whatever your customer's interest, I'm sure in the Canary Islands we'll have it covered. But to do something different with Azura this year, in December, there are 2 new cruises on offer. And the first is this 10-night cruise departing on the 8th of December, which includes Christmas Day. She leaves Tenerife rather, and she's got calls to Lisbon, Cadiz and Tangier before heading to Malaga. And that leads in at 1549 per person. And then she does the reverse for 11 nights. But this is very, very special, where she will depart Malaga, and she's also got a call into Barcelona for New Year's Eve. So guests are going to be able to view the fireworks there from the ship. Also calls into Valencia and Gibraltar before returning to Tenerife. Now, it's worth noting there's the 10 and 11 night option, but if you do have customers with time on their hands, they can combine those itineraries and make that an incredible 21 night holiday. Okay, we're nearly there. I've just got a few more highlights to share with you. I mean, there's 192 cruises. I could tell you about all of them, but I'd have had to pick my favorites. Now, this one is Ventura, and you can see here, this is her brand new Central Mediterranean cruise departing on the 26th of February. Now, it's really good for our customers to be able to go and explore really iconic cities at a quieter time of year. So, we're going to give our guests the opportunity to visit Piraeus for Athens, Naples, Lisbon, and Barcelona, plus La Goulette in Tunisia. And having gone and explored some of these cities in February myself, it's a really different experience. So it's going to be a very popular cruise, again with a lead-in fare of 2199 without that discount. But if your customers just want to get to Spain, Portugal, and the Canary Islands, well, across our ships, there's lots of options. Iona, 14 nights. Ventura's got 12, 13, and 14 night options. And Arcadia and Ventura both head to Madeira for the fireworks there for New Year. So plenty of options to explore the Canaries from Southampton if they don't want to do our fly cruise option. 899 for a 14 night holiday. Again, what great value. Can you beat it on a land-based holiday? Now, the other new news was, of course, this Morocco and Cape Verde itinerary on Arcadia. And we know that Arcadia particularly is a fan favourite for past guests. But this is going to give our guests the opportunity to explore Praia and Mindelo in Cape Verde, plus Agadir and Casablanca in Morocco. So a lovely 18-night holiday departing on the 3rd of December. This leads in at 1199 per person. And in fact, a balcony on this is 1799. And we know that, of course, on those past guest ships, you're going to book up into the balconies first. So 1799 for an 18-night holiday. Now, finally, if your customers are not chasing the sunshine, but they want to explore some fantastic cities, then we've got this new itinerary on Aurora. And she's heading to those much loved markets in Northern Europe and Scandinavia. This includes an overnight stay in Tallinn, but we've got calls to Copenhagen, Oslo, Zeebrugge, and Skagen too. 1649 per person for a Christmas cruise. No sign of any washing up. I'm going. Or you've got Iona's Northern European city escapes. And this is my final cruise to point out to you. And in fact, I'm on one of these cruises on Saturday myself. 7 nights exploring Hamburg, Rotterdam for an overnight stay, and Zeebrugge. Now, we've perfectly timed this for the February half terms. So we've got a couple of these scheduled in February and one at the end of March. Iona is fabulous for families with, like I said earlier, 30 places to drink and dine and be entertained in that amazing Sky Dome. But with a lead fare of 579 per person, it's sure to be a brilliant holiday. So, wow, are you still with me? Have you chosen an itinerary out of all of these destinations that we go to? Have you got a holiday in mind? Because I've probably got about 6 or 7, if I'm honest with you. So I need to probably buy some more annual leave. Fantastic destinations. So we've gone through the campaign, we've gone through those lead fares, and then you've seen the value because of the destinations we're exploring. But for those of you who are based all around the country and you've got customers that want to fly, you're probably wondering what the options are for any of our guests wanting to fly to the Canaries or the Caribbean. Well, look, for our Fly Canaries and Caribbean, we've got Manchester, Birmingham, and London. Although for the Caribbean, please do bear in mind if anybody is wanting to go to Antigua on Avia, you could only fly from London or Manchester. But you can see here the flight supplements that are available on the Tenerife or the Caribbean itineraries. Now, again, the 10% discount does not include this supplements. So if you're quoting for any of your customers, whatever age, child or adult, you must add on the flight supplements once you've calculated the fare from the fare grid. So you'll have your price of the holiday, you'll minus off the 10%, and then you add on the flight supplements. And in fact, me and Angie were running some scenarios through earlier, just checking all of these supplements were pulling through correctly. Now, do please just download this as well from Shine Rewards Club. So you can see there we've got lots of options. But on selected Caribbean cruises, we do also have other airports that we don't necessarily fly from. So great to see Cardiff in there, and there's a Bournemouth one on there as well. So great for us Southerners. So these are all going to be available for you on Shine to download. But it's lovely to see wherever your customers are in the country, you can add on a flight. Now, for the Caribbean, if anyone's looking for premium economy, then this will be priced at $499 per person. So that gives our guests the increased baggage allowance and increased seat pitch. But please do note that if we are using TUI and flights don't get confirmed until 11 months before, if you are booking premium air, it does not give you access to the airport lounge. It's done as a package with P&O Cruises. So if you're used to selling TUI premium air, just bear that in mind. So lots and lots of options to fly our guests out to the sunshine. Now, before I give away some lovely shine points, what do you need to do now? So I've just said to you, there's some brilliant holidays. My question for you is, are you ready to holiday like never before? I certainly am. Now, you're going to make your customers' winter wishes come true. You're going to go and download the fare grids, the flight supplements, and that Peninsula Club cruise table that I saw you, so you know how to quote. Make sure you know exactly what date you need to turn your pre-registrations into bookings. And do remember that fluid pricing kicks in from 10 a.m. So if you've got lots of bookings, convert them at 8:30. 10% low deposit, 10% discount, 192 opportunities. For you, it's all about Shine Rewards Club. Do remember, every select price booking you make, book, spin, win, repeat. So before we go to the quiz, Angie, have we got any questions or any thoughts on this amazing programme?
Everyone's loving it. Everyone's asking their managers for the annual leave, and they've got 7 different itineraries they want to go on. We feel exactly the same, and I find that there's so many exciting new news, like Steph said, for guests to share. And I do really think that some of those cruises are definitely worth pre-registering for, and definitely getting the best availability at launch for your customers, because I think they will definitely sell out. And we've got a comment that was a fabulous presentation as well. Thank you, Debbie.
Oh, thank you ever so much. That means the world. Feedback is a gift. So please let us know for future launches what we can do better, or what you liked, and well, hopefully not what you didn't like, but we'll take it. So let's get going. I've got a quiz to put together now. So we've got 5 questions. We've got 25 points for the winners, and we're going to give 3 winners for each question that's available. So type your answers into the chat, and because we will randomize all of the answers, we will surprise you with those points later on today. So you've got to be in it to win it. So how intently were you listening? So the first question, what percentage is the launch discount and deposit? So what
Wow, the
percent?
answers are coming through without you even finishing asking the question. Look at
That's
that. Everyone's
amazing. Are
keen.
they
And
doing better than our team, Angie, when we did this with them?
yeah, absolutely. Lots and lots of you answering, and lots of you also giving the correct answer as well. So I think you can definitely guess this 10% by all of the answers that are coming through, which is indeed the correct answer. So well done, everyone. You definitely listened because that was one of the
Nice.
first slides. So
Exactly. Like question number two, name one of the airports guests can fly out to the Caribbean from. And we just talked about the variety of air options that there are. So name one of the airports guests can fly out to the Caribbean from.
I can't keep up. There's so many coming through. So when we say London, we can't stipulate it exactly. It's going to be Gatwick until closer to the time. It's probably likely to be, but that's why I refer to it as London, just in case. But we do have lots of London answers, Manchester. We do have Bournemouth, Birmingham. We do have Cardiff coming through. There's also Belfast on selected cruises, Newcastle. So yeah, all of those are coming through. So you've also listened on that one too.
Lots of options. Question number three, which ship offers our world cruise? We know it's a really nice past guest ship known for her discovery itineraries. We can call her our indulgent explorer if that helps you at all. Not sure we need a clue though. I can see the chat going wild.
Again, I still can't keep up. So yeah, I think we can reveal the answer, which I'm sure you've all guessed is already Arcadia, and that is the correct answer. So well done, everyone.
Arcadia for 106 nights. Exactly. Question number four. Name one destination guests will be able to see the New Year's Eve fireworks. And I think I've given it away with this picture. But let's see if there's any other options. There was four destinations that I mentioned. So let's see.
So we've got lots of Barcelona and Madeira answers. We have Lisbon and we also have Hamburg. And they are the four cities that are correct answer. So well done to those of you that answered one of those.
Fabulous. And question number five is how many nights is Aurora's grand tour? So we might not have 106 nights, but we're going to go to 34 different places on this incredible grand tour. So how many nights?
Again, lots of answers coming through. And the correct answer is 75 nights. Can we just take all that
Fabulous.
time off ourselves and go on a 75 night cruise, eh?
Yeah, we just wish we were there. Hey, Angie. So that, as we come to the end, is I just want to say a huge thank you for taking part in that quiz. And we will randomize your answers and surprise and delight, I'm sure, a few of you later with some points. Now, if you've got any other colleagues and they've not been able to join this webinar today, these will be live on our Shine Rewards Club page later this afternoon. But if you are new to cruise and you want to learn how to pre-register, then myself and Angie will be on another webinar at 11:30 this morning. So you've got a bit of time to get a cuppa and get ready to learn even more. But look, I hope this webinar has been helpful. I hope it's got you as excited as we certainly are at P&O Cruises to make launch a success. And I just wish you all the very best. Get selling. We've got that low deposit. We've got the discounts. We've got those incredible destinations, loads of flight options. We're going to make everyone's winter wishes come true. So we will love you and leave you there. Thank you ever so much for joining. Angie, unless there's any questions, we will say goodbye.
So just to clarify, it's not the same link for the pre-registration webinar. I've just put it in a chat a couple of times. If you didn't get a chance to copy and paste it from the chat, you can head to our latest campaign section on Shine Rewards Club. You've still got time to head over there, and we do have the link for you to join that webinar at 11:30. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you're as excited as we are, like Steph said, and good luck for launch.
Yes, good luck, everyone. I can't wait to see you putting all your bookings through next week. So take care of yourselves. Thank you for your time and good luck. Bye bye.